Dude, I was gonna say it's so cool that it was live on Twitter. I've
Yeah,
never
I
seen
didn't.
that before.
I never seen that before because it gave me an option for Twitter, and I thought it just meant that it was gonna like put it out there, on Twitter.
Yeah,
But I
just
didn't
throw
know
out the
it.
link.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was actually streaming on Twitter. So I just did it again today.
Yeah, it's super sick. Oh, let me retweet it because that's sick.
Yeah, let me do the same. Either way, guys, a lot of stuff to talk about today. It is March 2nd, 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to be talking about Kevin Durant's debut, obviously. Is it debut or debut? It's debut. Right?
Did you not just say the same word?
Is it debut or debut?
No way, debut? It's debut. It's a great question, though. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say debut.
I feel like that's what a Canadian would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we got KD playing as a Sun for the first time. Brandon Ingram and the Pelicans. Then a little bit of Knicks and Cavs talk. Then Celtics and Grizzlies. Well, Swaggy coming on?
I mean, apparently.
All right. I actually did not. I forgot that I muted that conversation because on Saturday, you remember when Swaggy was blowing our phones up on Saturday? I had to mute that conversation because I was legit at work, and I guess I forgot to unmute the combo after work.
I have all my texts on mute because I hate notifications, but
I hate notifications, bro.
Every time I checked that chat this weekend, it was like, bam, here's 120 texts. Like,
yeah, dude, I know. I had to mute the chat. I couldn't say that when he said Swaggy's waiting on your response. I kept texting you. Yeah, tell him it's okay.
Yeah.
Either way, let's get right into 23 points in 27 minutes. Are you drinking water out of a Tito's cup?
No, I'm drinking Tito's, bro.
Yeah, it's that early.
This day going.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Kevin Durant. And what do you think? Did you watch the game?
Yeah, KD is on Charlotte.
You almost call him a Charlotte Bobcat?
I said KD on Charlotte, but nonetheless, KD on Phoenix has me extremely excited. Like yesterday wasn't a perfect game from the Phoenix Suns, but I'm so excited for it. Like I really am. I really wish Chris Paul wasn't on the team, but Devin Booker and KD is going to be one fun duo, and it opens everything up. It just makes everybody's job a lot more easier. And they have a point guard who can also just set everybody up. It's up Jalen. So yeah, you can throw KD anywhere on any team in any league in professional basketball, and it's gonna be fun.
I just want to say even though we know he was on a restriction, he was playing like in 6-minute intervals, and then he played like the last 3. But yeah, no, I think this fit is perfect. First off, the Devin Booker KD duo, lethal. Chris Paul doesn't even need to score anymore. All right. And I mean, the two of them, while KD was on minutes restriction, KD and Devin Booker combined for 60 points.
Yeah.
On minutes restriction, baby.
And it makes Ayton too, like,
oh yeah,
because Ayton. Nothing against Ayton or Chris Paul. It's just now they're perfect complementary players. They're just so perfect.
I agree. And the thing is that this is definitely a situation that you're looking at it where this team, they're so good in their starting lineup. You got a 16-10 guy in DeAndre Ayton who scores efficiently. You got yourself KD, Devin Booker, and as much as people want to say Chris Paul is washed, Chris Paul on a good night can still give you 15, and if he's not giving you 15, he's giving you 15 assists. And I just think the only complaint you could go have against this team is if one of the starters were to get hurt, it might not be that good of a situation because they don't have that much depth. As you guys know, yesterday was the last day you could sign a player to a playoff roster, which shocked me that no one signed Nerlens Noel or Goran Dragic. We just lost Jackson.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, nobody did anything.
No one did anything. Nerlens Noel.
What the hell was the point?
Yeah. We saw a couple 10-day contracts in two ways, which basically they did that just in case like someone gets hurt and those guys can become, playoff roster eligible. Yeah. Nerlens Noel will not be in the playoffs. Goran Dragic will not be in the playoffs. I thought, a team like the Suns, I really thought the Suns would make one more move to build up their depth. I didn't think they needed a big because they had Jock Landale and Bismack Biyombo, but Carmelo or Goran Dragic would have been a good addition in my opinion.
I guess everyone likes what they got, which is pretty surprising because
I thought Phoenix.
Deep year.
Oh, one gripe. You know what's a problem with this Phoenix team that I noticed?
Monty Williams.
Monty
Williams?
No. The one problem with this roster construction, they don't have guess who was the second most fouls, took the second most free throws on this team? Devin Booker.
TJ Warren.
No.
Damn, that's a good guess though.
It wasn't a good guess.
Josh Okogie now?
Yeah, Josh Okogie.
Yeah, that's weird.
Josh Okogie was the second leading free throw attempter, and that's the problem. They have Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, two guys who are mid-range, like they're not drivers necessarily. They don't draw fouls. And so one might say they don't really have a true downhill foul drawer, which I said in my video, like thankfully you have TJ Warren, and you could maybe see if TJ Warren, Cameron Payne, and Damian Lee, like those guys, maybe have them come off the bench and start going downhill. And like some people will be like, oh, why do free throws matter? Free throws slow the game down. It's 3 points. It's just good to like draw fouls, like obviously not Trae Young style. Like the way Trae Young did it was annoying, but like I'm talking in the sense that having a guy who can come in and just, throw off the pace of the game and catch the defense off guard and draw some fouls is huge.
They had 15 free throws last.
Yeah, they had 15 free throws. That was my one thing. Yeah, when I
2008.
When I watched this game, my one takeaway from it, as much as I loved the game, I was just like, oh, damn. Yep, they don't have much free throw shooting. Not that their guys can't shoot free throws. No, their guys can shoot free throws. They don't draw they don't draw free throws, is what I'm trying to say.
That's very interesting. And, once we get into the playoffs, and I noticed it in 2 days ago's game, and now you're starting to see it. You've been starting to see it for a little bit, where Chicago played Toronto, and they just let them play. They let them play all night long, foul after foul. It's just you'll take 3 points in the playoffs because it just gets different. I really want to see Darius Bazley play basketball, so I've got a little not vendetta against Monty Williams, but he's not my favorite coach in the league. But still, welcome to Phoenix, KD. I've always wanted to live in Phoenix, and he's making that rise in my mind.
I'm so happy I didn't go to Arizona State. I talked to one of my professors, and she said someone else who went to Arizona State last year for the program I got accepted into said it was like overhyped and it was like too good to be true. And like, they don't really like it now.
Dude, Arizona seems so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like UFOs and.
Yeah. Rocks. But see, if I'm going to live in 100-degree weather, I'd rather be moving to Florida where there's heat. Is this a dry? It's a dry. No. But I'd rather live where there's beaches right there. What do you mean? Okay, first off, you know how many, like, obviously not really for me because I have a girlfriend, but like, you know how many like diverse like cultures are there, like in Miami compared, like in Florida. Where would you rather live? Like Boca Raton / Miami or Phoenix, Arizona?
Well, I agree, Florida, but
Arizona's dope. I
will live in Arizona at one point in my life. It's just not going to be next year, most likely.
A guy who votes for like the show me the papers law.
What's that?
It's like a law that used to exist in Arizona where like people could walk up to immigrants if they thought that you looked
Oh,
and
jeez.
they would say, "Show me your papers." So, like,
Um,
let's say if I was walking with you guys and someone wanted to be a conservative, they just walked up to me and they show me your papers. I'd like look at them and be like, "Bro, like, American, do you hear this voice? American, like,
yeah, it's a wild law.
yeah."
Is that the Bush era?
Yeah, it was actually. It was like
Is it
right.
actually?
Yeah, it was like right before Obama. It was like a huge. I'm pretty sure when Obama came into power, Obama like executive ordered like or some shit, like got rid of it. It doesn't.
He's not gonna like that.
Yeah. Either way, any last thoughts about this team? I think they're I think the Kevin Durant led Phoenix Suns are contenders. I think we agreed on two things. They're not concerns, but two things to keep an eye out for: their free throw attempts as a team, and what will happen if one of the starters gets injured.
And also move on from Monty Williams, but we'll talk about that.
Why is your gripe with Monty Williams? What do you do?
He's
Fuck your
overrated
girlfriend?
head coach. Anyways, I can't wait for a Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Western Conference Finals with Sacramento possibly.
I'd rather have a Sacramento Phoenix Suns. I'm on this whole Sacramento.
You're anti.
Oh, I mean,
racist.
I don't know how that's racist, but I'm all for
Denver Nuggets.
I'm Denver Nuggets.
Oh, that would be so lame. Oh my goodness.
What do you mean, Nuggets versus Kings?
No one wants to watch the Denver Nuggets play basketball.
You tell me nobody wants to watch the Western Conference Finals of Sabonis versus Jokic?
I'm just a salty Warriors fan, listeners.
Harrison Barnes versus Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon versus Keegan Murray.
Okay, that would be fine. I'm just a salty Warriors fan in this hypothetical Western Conference Finals. I'd like the Nuggets, and I love Nikola Jokic. They're a cool team. They're a good team.
Jalen Johnson brought up some good points. Shout out, dog, for commenting that. Let's talk about the next team. The New Orleans Pelicans. What do you think of this squad? What do you think of BI? And what's crazy is this team, the Pelicans, were, soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach, but either way, they're 5-5 in the last 10. And the Pelicans, what were they, third or fourth at one point of this season? They're now the 10th seed.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. They're horrible without Zion. I'm surprised there are numbers.
They're not horrible.
They're horrible without Zion. Don't get it twisted. They're like 500 now, but I don't really know what to say other than they suck without Zion. So yeah, Brandon Ingram had one thing I gathered from Brandon Ingram's 40-point games right now that just came to the Dome is no one gives a shit about 40-point games anymore because it happens 5 times a night. So yeah, Josh Richardson's cool. CJ McCollum's cool. They have a cool team. The play-in will be interesting. It's just a great time in basketball right now because theoretically they could go even on they're a game and a half outside of the 5th spot. Like, what the fuck? They could theoretically go on a 5-game winning streak. Zion could come back next week, early on Monday, and play, and they'll rattle off 8 of 10 wins, and just like that, they're the 5th seed. And it's just like, what the heck is the Western Conference? So,
yeah, no, it's crazy to think about. Also, it's another thing that people have not talked about who's been missing for the Pelicans at times this season. He hasn't been entirely healthy. And it's, Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, the Jonas from the start to the end has been kind of interesting because
he's played 61.
He's
played 60. Sorry, no, you're good. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's played 61 games, but yeah, like he'll have the occasional game that he doesn't play because of an injury, and then some games he'll play low 20s. Then some games he'll play 30 minutes, and it's it's been a weird mix. You know what I mean? With Jonas Valanciunas, like he's played a majority of the season, but I don't know if he's been dealing with an injury all season long. That some days he can play only 20 minutes, some games he can play 30 minutes, or it's depending on the matchup. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure it's heavily matchup based.
Yeah, I also think I personally think he's struggling with some sort of like, everyone's injured at this point. If you're not injured, you're lying.
Yeah, so it could have been more of a loader management type of thing. I mean, I don't know. It's a really good point because he's like 32 minutes against the New York Knicks, and then he still +3 yesterday against Orlando, but only.
Then he'll have 24 and 26 and 25 against the Thunder, Cavs, and Hawks. You know?
Yeah, like he'll have 30. He'll play 30 minutes, and then the next day he'll play 20, 23.
I'm confident when I say this that Jonas Valanciunas is a top 10 center. Closer to 10. Closer to 10. He's like the 10th best center in the NBA at least.
I just don't have a rebuttal right now. And you sound right, and I know you're right, but I just don't have any rebuttal.
At least if he's not top 10, he's top 15. He's one of the 15.
Yeah, okay.
He's one of the 15 better centers in the NBA.
Matt Vento. So the Zion issue as well. The NBA Finals will be Golden State, Milwaukee. I think we all know that by
now. I think Milwaukee's a really good bet to have, like personally. Like Milwaukee's a fantastic bet to have. Let's talk about Zion real quick. I'm pulling up right here. Zion on February 28th is making good progress. He's having an MRI, allegedly, they said, on the 28th, which was 2 days ago. He's having an MRI next week. So I've had a hamstring injury before. Again, I know this is a professional athlete, but I suffered a hamstring. Matt, finals prediction. I don't typically do finals prediction. I like doing conference finals predictions. I got right now Boston Celtics versus Bucks, and then I got Denver Nuggets versus that it gets hard. Denver Nuggets versus. I would love to see the Nuggets versus Kings, but right now if I had to put money, Nuggets versus Suns.
Okay. How long did it take for you to come up with those predictions?
Not long. I've had that. I've had the Nuggets for a while. I've been on the Nuggets train for a while. Everyone can suck my dick, but Zion, it's a hamstring injury. I've only pulled my hamstring, but dude, when I pulled my hamstring, that was like a month long. Like I was still feeling it. Like it took 2 weeks just to have like normal movement back in my leg, and then another 2 weeks to like not feel it in my leg, if that makes sense.
So I don't know. Be back.
I know, but like obviously there's a ramp up period. So the big question here is, if you guys also hit that like and subscribe button. We're live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Be a friend and tell a friend. If you guys didn't like it, just forget it ever happened. But with that being said, yeah, Jalen Johnson said hamstrings are tricky. Like everyone just responds differently. And the thing from what I've learned with hamstrings is like they linger. It just doesn't feel right. Especially because do we know if his was a tear at all?
A torn hamstring? He would be out for the season.
No, tear. Like partial tear.
Oh.
If he partially teared it.
I'd have to reread the diagnosis.
Oh, so you know that Jose Alvarado, I thought this was quiet. Jose Alvarado has suffered a stress fracture in his tibia. Yeah. Tibia is the other one, right? The second largest bone in your body.
I can't even think of where the tibia is.
It's the one next to your fibia. Because the fibia is your femur. You're not your femur. Your femur. It's the one next to your femur.
Where is? Oh.
Because the femur is the strongest bone in your body.
Huge.
Yeah, the femur is the strongest bone in your body, and the femur is connected to your tibia, which means he stress fractured his shin. He stress fractured this bone. This bone stress fractured. Yeah, that's like so. Jose Alvarado suffered a stress fractured like in his shin, like calf shin, like lower leg,
and he's just running it.
Yeah. It's just
Fuck it.
he probably had really bad shin splits, and he just played through shin splits. That's usually what happens. You're not supposed to play through shin splits because it'll lead to stress fractures.
Perfect. This team is banged up,
Yeah.
and there's so much potential. Perfect.
It's okay. I don't want to play this, but devil advocacy. How many more seasons do you go through Zion?
We just did this 2 days ago. I give them until he damn well pleases. You know, 27 7-4s don't grow on trees.
No, I know. But and he's 22 years old. He's 22 years old. But
older than him.
Zion,
Old man.
take one guess how many games he's played this season.
21.
29.
It's fine.
I know. I love Zion.
Give him however long he wants.
You know what's really cool before we move on to this? Kevin Durant, when someone asked him if he had to say if there was any player to compare him to, and he says, like, there isn't really anyone to compare me to, but he's like, if there was one guy, but he's not young anymore, Brandon Ingram. KD literally said the only player in the NBA that reminds him of himself, but he's not a young guy anymore, Brandon Ingram. And
yeah, BI is sick.
BI is fucking sick.
He's so sick.
So sick.
It gets downplayed because of the New Orleans market, but he's so sick.
Yeah, and he's like this low-key guy. Like, he's got that KD low-key like vibe. Like, he's not a talker. He does his own thing, and like he just lets his game speak for himself, you know?
Yeah, he's perfect.
I never was a huge BI guy on Los Angeles, but since he went to New Orleans, he's became one of my favorite players because you never hear him chirp. I also love the scraggly, like, not give a fuck about like his appearance, where he just has this grown out beard, overgrown hair, you know? Like, I love it. Like, most NBA players are like getting their hair cut once a week, you know, getting lined up and shit. Brandon Ingram just wakes up and goes to the game.
How many games has Brandon Ingram played this season?
50.
28. So when should the Pelicans give up on BI?
Dude,
I'm playing devil's advocate. No, I'm just kidding.
Did BI only actually play 28 games? I knew he missed a good chunk. I thought it was closer to like 50 or 40. Holy crap. Because he missed basically the first half of the season, right?
Dude, I feel like he missed it's felt and
it didn't feel that long.
Well, yeah, it didn't feel that long.
Okay, so he missed all of December. And basically all of January. So all of December and January. I guess I didn't realize it was that long of an absence.
This team is just not healthy. They're just not healthy.
No, I get that.
So he's averaging 40 points in the month of March.
Funny.
I can't believe it's already Thursday.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's kind of fucked up, for being honest. I have one more month in the state.
And then are you just going to chill in Chicago for the time being?
No idea what to do.
I mean, if anything, you could save up in Chicago, stack up your money, and then head back.
I don't need to save up anything. I'm going to hop on a jet and live in Italy for 2 to 3 months.
So we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics in a second. But before we say that, so one of my boys, he just bought a house and he's like making bank. Like last night, he just hopped on a private jet and then flew out of Palm Beach back to Maryland. But guess what his job is? He convinces military veterans to refinance their mortgages.
Is this a morally proper career?
Oh, no.
That sucks.
Yeah. We all were like a bunch of. So one of my boys works for like a top 4 accounting firm in the country, and he lined this kid up who works for now. So my boy Trevor, who lives in Palm Beach, flying on private jets, bought like almost $1 million house at 24. turned down a job as investment real estate for a top 4 accounting firm in the country so he could refinance mortgages for for American veterans, which is aka steal their money.
Man, morals. There's no morals in this country.
How fucked is that? We were all like laughing, and my boy was so mad. He's like, I just can never. He's like, I can never recommend a person for a job ever again. He's like, I stuck my neck up, hit up a partner, and was like, this kid's about to graduate, like, really good guy. They offered him the job, and he said, nah, I'm gonna go scam military veterans and refinance their mortgages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of grimy cats out there.
But let's talk about the Boston Celtics. They beat the Cavaliers. And we'll talk a little bit about the Cavaliers and if the Cavaliers are a team that, if you're a fan of, should you be scared that they might, I don't know if the words choke, but might not be ready. Tonight, we got to see Jason Tatum drop 41. Yep. We got Jaylen Brown at 16, 14 from Marcus Smart, 11 from Robert Williams. Al Horford at 23. Crazy thing is the Celtics had 3 guys have double doubles. Double double for Jason Tatum, double double for Al Horford, double double for Robert Williams. And then basically they ran a 7-man rotation tonight with Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon playing a brunt of the minutes, and then a little sprinkle of Mike Muscala and Sam Hauser in there. But what do you think of these Boston Celtics, and are you a fan?
Yeah. I don't know.
You see your words?
I'm hesitant with teams like Boston and Denver because I just know they're gearing up for the playoffs. And it was something that we saw a couple of nights ago against the New York Knicks where it's like, no, Brown didn't play. And I don't know, like you can't compare the Knicks and the Celtics right now because I know Swaggy was loving the upset, but it's like, I don't know, man. These guys are playing for different things. You're on the road. You're on a road trip, what have you. You want to go back to your family. You're already the best 2 teams in the East. You're just getting ready for the playoffs. And it's hard to put like a lot of stock into any regular season game. Like there's not too many regular season games that even matter. So with Boston, it's just continue to work on what you need to work on and continue to tighten things up so that once you get into the playoffs, you're healthy and it's riding high. And a win against the Cleveland Cavaliers certainly does that.
Yeah, no. And first off, can we talk about how underrated Mike Muscala has been?
It was a really good move for sure.
It seemed like such a small, minuscule, between the lines move. And
yeah.
First off, Mike Muscala is born in the same place I was born. He was born in St. Louis Park. I was born in St. Louis Park. He was probably born in St. Louis Park Hospital, just like me. But Mike Muscala,
might be your brother.
Yeah, I mean, from 12 years. I mean, I'm supposed to have an extra sibling, but he got aborted. But like, that's such a stupid. But
I respect survivors.
Sorry. Yeah. So this Mike Muscala through 5 games. I mean, he's only played 5 games since being on this team, but 20 minutes a night, 8.6 points, 37% from 3. They just needed a guy who could come in and just be not Luke Cornett, which is nothing against Luke Cornett.
Yeah, nothing against Luke Cornett. They need a guy who can step in and not be Luke Cornett or Blake Griffin, and just no disrespect to either of those 2 players because they're important. But
like literally no disrespect. Like they just like. I didn't know how to like explain why they needed Mike Muscala besides just like I'd rather have Mike Muscala out there than Luke Cornett.
Yeah. The hand in the in the eyes.
And Blake Griffin's really like not getting cut or anything. Supposedly Blake Griffin is like beloved in the locker room. Like beloved. Like he's like the vocal leader of this team.
He deserves it, man.
I've always been a huge Blake guy. Like even when he was on the Clippers, I was always a Blake guy.
Now that he's a father, you can tell he's just matured so well. And
we all know that kid's Kessler Edwards.
Yeah, pretty fucked.
Is the Celtics the most guaranteed conference finals appearance? Like I feel like
I think so.
I don't know why, but like the East, it's the Bucks or the Celtics coming out the East. That's the conference finals. I just can't see a team
Yeah,
beating either of those teams 4 times in the playoffs.
I know. Things change so much in the playoffs. Like they
I
just
know,
change so much. I don't think people realize it. Like right now in the NBA, there's maybe 4 teams who actually can win the NBA finals. Maybe 5. That's stretching.
but someone could get hurt on one of those teams.
Somebody could get hurt. You're 100% right. So then it would go down to 4. Boston's one of them, even on a bad Boston night. I mean, the one thing is they almost lost to the Bucks in 7 with no Chris Middleton, but this team has gotten a lot better from last year, and they have a lot more experience than that Bucks series from last year. But like, I look at teams like Philadelphia and the New York Knicks here, and that's why I want hopefully Swaggy wakes up or comes on, because they're just not gonna win the finals. Things change in the playoffs. Those fouls aren't getting called for Mr. Embiid and Harden, and
You know
it's
what's
just
my thing
physical.
against the Sixers? Nothing against the ability of this team. It's just with every day there's this more and more articles coming out about James Harden returning to Houston.
It looks like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I don't think it's good for team chemistry and a team locker room if one of your star players is having an article written every day that this offseason or in the near future he will be returning to a rebuilding team. I personally think that's I can't say that team's going to win a championship when they're saying James Harden all the time is gonna go back to Houston. The other thing is I saw an article the other day saying that Philadelphia's thinking about that they might just have to blow it up and trade Embiid.
Why?
I don't know why. They said if James Harden leaves, they should just blow it up. And I was like, why? You could
have Harden like a year ago.
Yeah, I was like, you could definitely go package like Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, and every other contract and pair Joel Embiid up with like Zach LaVine or like maybe if Damian Lillard asks out,
Dame is a very interesting name to throw on in there, isn't he? That is interesting. Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, Philadelphia's issue is it's more of the same every single year. So
I think the bigger problem is Doc Rivers at this point.
I will say Harden looks unbelievable.
Oh, Harden looks great.
He's so good. Like, I can't 100% guarantee Philadelphia isn't going to win at all.
This isn't the same Harden as we're used to. This is a different Harden.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
he's just so different. It's awesome.
This isn't a Harden relying on his athleticism. This is Harden like playing a different style. Like, he's changed his game, James Harden.
He's so good at basketball. And you're right. He takes it. You know what that is? It's a ceiling razor. All right. It's a razor you keep in the ceiling in case you need to cut garlic or something.
Who's more impactful to winning basketball for the Sixers? Embiid or Harden? Harden.
It's got to be Harden. I mean,
really, I think it's Embiid.
I just don't think it's like having a super athletic point guard. I just don't know. Who's the last center who was the best player on their team that won a championship?
Anthony Davis? No, LeBron.
You son of a bitch.
Tim Duncan? No,
Center.
Was Kawhi?
What? Center.
No, I'm about to say, was Kawhi better than Tim already at that point?
It doesn't matter because Tim's a power forward.
At the end of his career as a center, you asshole.
Okay, so
Shaq?
On what team?
Was he better than Dwayne? No, Dwayne Wade won MVP that year. So I guess the Lakers.
There also was a guy named Kobe.
Yeah, but that was young Kobe. That was young Kobe.
Okay. All right. So if there was so possibly 20 years ago is basically the point to this story.
Yeah.
So I think it's James Harden.
Let's pivot over here and talk about the Cavs. Cavs for most of the season, we said they were just right outside the contender. They were a top 10 team, but the contenders are usually the top 5 teams. Everyone would say the Cavs were the team that was like just right outside there. I have the Cavs. If I had to say it, I would choose the Cavs over the 76ers, but I can't take the Cavs over the Bucks or the Celtics.
Yeah, I agree with that. As shitty as it is from Philadelphia.
Like the Cavs, I honestly think the problem with the Cavs, it's really not the Cavs in the sense that it's more the fact that they have an incredible starting lineup, okay? But it's the bench. Like Ricky Rubio's fine, but they don't really play Robin Lopez, okay? And so they don't really play a backup big. And then B, as much as I love Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro, that wing position is their Achilles heel.
Yeah, man.
They can't get any consistency from their wings. Like you got Donovan Mitchell scoring 40 plus every other game.
And DG doing great. Evan Mobley's taking a jump. And dude, this is it's just cool because this is another team kind of like Sacramento, just maybe a year after Sacramento, where it's like this team is just really good. They're really set up for the future, and they're a top 3 defense in the NBA regardless. That's the issue, is they're the 4th worst scoring offense, and Karis LeVert can give you buckets, but I do worry come playoff time. The good news is defense is really freaking good. So
this team, you know what they're going to spend this offseason doing? Turning Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade into 3 shooters.
Hopefully, because Karis is on his way out.
Also, why did they sign Danny Green? Does it not play him?
Exactly. I don't know how many times I've told you Daniel Red it's done. It's done. But
he's shooting in 3 games. In 3 games, he's shooting 43% in 10 minutes a night.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Like throw him out. Even though it's 10 minutes a night, okay, he's a better shooter than Dean Wade, Jetty Osman, and more consistent.
Well, the issue when you get these guys is they need time, man. So he's got to work into the system, and he also just tore his ACL. So,
I mean, he's back, baby.
Yeah, but it's like really
Jalen Johnson said it best. Jay Crowder would be good for them.
Yeah. Even like Terrence Ross
would have been great.
I'm trying to think who was. Let me check.
You know what's surprising? Get signed. I thought Carmelo was really going to get signed by the Suns.
Dude, I don't know how many times I got flamed in that clip. Carmelo Anthony can't guard a fucking cone.
He did get.
He can't guard a fucking cone.
They're like, this guy's like,
don't talk down on my Unk. I'm like, Unk's 38. All right, I don't like. I watched Unk a lot last year play for the Lakers. Like, he can't guard a fucking cone.
That's usually how our clips go. Either I get destroyed for a bad take, or you get destroyed for being a hater.
Yeah. It's like, no, this is why he's still free agent. Damn. I'm trying to find it. Keep up the clip. This team will only get as far as Terrence. Yeah. It's crazy to think like Terrence Ross was a big name going around in the trade candidacy, and then he gets bought out and goes to Phoenix, and everyone's like, he's not that good.
Anyway. Well, he originally was told Dallas he was going to sign, and then literally Kevin Durant calls him up, and he's like, come to Phoenix. And he's like,
why the fuck would you want to go to Dallas?
No income tax.
I'll pay your taxes. I'm pretending I'm KD. I'll pay your taxes. That's not that wasn't Terrence Ross. Could you imagine it? KD calls Terrence Ross on the phone and is like, come to Phoenix, and he's like, I don't want to pay income taxes.
That's how I would. If a guy was calling, he's like, "Why aren't you coming to this contention?" He's like, "Bro,
No.
income tax."
You just played for the Orlando Magic for 23 years. You're an old man.
He got used to it. He got used to no income tax. He got used to no income tax.
He can take.
He got
spend
used
half
to
a
it.
year with no income tax. I think you need to live where. I think you need to live there for like 9 months or something, anyways. So he's probably in the clear.
Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Would you say this team is kind of like the Cavaliers of the West? Do you just pop in as in?
Yeah.
So at my work, all the sports guys pack Zins. Like I'll look over because like the reporter station is like shares the state. Like on the other side is the sports guys, and I'll like talk to them, and they'll just look up and they'll be like, and like they'll just like we'll be talking, and they'll just have hoggers in, and they'll just be like typing.
Couple Dexter, Ski, Sydney.
Do you spit or do you swallow?
Crosby. Jesus. The point I will just say this. The point of Zins is to not spit.
Really?
I can't use those two words in the same sentence ever.
I was when I used to
swallow,
I was so I liked long cut, but then I got out. I was a long cut guy. Wintergreen, what do you call it? Grizzly? Is that the brand? Grizzlies?
I think Grizzly, yeah.
Yeah, Grizzly, Wintergreen. It's the one with the cloth thread. And then I liked Copenhagen better, but Grizzlies was always near there. Kodiak was good, but then I switched over to Chew, and I like chewed for like a year. You know, Red Man's Chew.
Like in Sandlot.
Yeah, dude. I used to carry a water bottle that would be like black tar because like Chew's so much juicier and like black. It tastes like honey raisins, is what I've always said. And I would throw that in, dude. I would have like that, and I would just chew. And like I was like 18 chewing, and my friends would be like, "You are disgusting." I'd be like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, I love chewing. And like, dude, we'd be hanging out, and if I didn't have a bottle, I'd be spitting, and like if I sat up next to me, would just be a black puddle because I would just be like,
"That's disgusting." Yeah, you need that. I forget. There's this show. I wish Thomas was here. There's this Canadian show. Letterkenny is what.
Letterkenny. Yeah, I knew it.
Always dipping in that.
I knew exactly when you were saying there's this Canadian show. I was like, you're about to say Letterkenny. Guess who showed my girlfriend showed me that show.
Yeah, it was a great show.
It was pretty good. It's like I love dumb comedy. I love dumb comedy. That one might have been too dumb.
It is very dumb, and it gets old pretty fast.
It got old pretty fast. Like we watched the first season, and then once we got to the second season, I was like, I don't know if I can keep watching this. Like maybe as a throwaway show when I'm not trying to pay attention.
It's a good throwaway show.
It's not a show that like I'm like trying to keep up with the storyline. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. There are some good jokes in there though. Get this criminal off my screen.
So are the Memphis Grizzlies in a similar boat to the Cavaliers?
The Memphis Grizzlies are the Cleveland Cavaliers if everybody hated the Cleveland Cavaliers, because no one hates the Cleveland Cavaliers because they're not annoying as fuck. So
why? Is it because Ja Morant holds guns up against people and beats up 17-year-olds?
I mean, that was a really retarded story, but hey, family is everything, is all I'll say on that. But
no, but like I only said that. I actually don't care. I don't care. Like as long as he's not like, you know, being a menace to society and like, but
it's a dirty. What is it? I don't like Dylan Brooks at all.
I like Dylan Brooks. But Ja Morant, what is he? He's got like 3 accusations of like some sort of assault
in the past. He's all over the place this year. He wants to go back to the hood is the joke.
Really?
Well, that's like the joke because he keeps getting all these shenanigans. He's a young kid. I'm sure he's talked about how much he boozes. I'm sure he loves his booze. He loves to smoke, as we all do at this age. And I like the villain arc. I really do. I don't think this year is the year because this team called Golden State still exists. And as we saw last year, they're not going to do anything. And then you have people who disagree with that. But it's been really cool to see Dylan Brooks not be a good basketball player anymore. Except on defense, obviously. Don't want to get that twisted. And I'm just a salty Warriors fan because Dylan Brooks is
Look at my
dirty son of a
dog.
bitch.
Look
So-
at my dog. She's like sleeping. Look, she's like shaking because she's dreaming.
You know, for a pit bull, that's pretty cute.
That's like her little chair. She's like fully aware that we're talking about her now.
She wants to bite me.
Tell me, is that we also have to lie in Florida that she's a boxer mix? They're illegal.
Yeah, I agree with the landlord. Fuck that. It's shit's scary, dude. Not your dog. Not your dog.
Eagle in Miami County. Yeah.
Shit, they're scary, dude.
Yeah, I read on Reddit they don't care. They don't really care.
It's like weed.
Yeah, I mean it's medical. Do you have a med card?
No.
How do you go about then?
Well, my buddy smokes a lot. So if I ever want to smoke, I usually would just hit him up. Yeah.
So your roommate. That's how your buddy. Say my roommate.
I don't want to like indict him or but yeah, I don't really smoke anymore.
I knew you said that. I was about to follow that up. I was like, are you even smoking? But Jaren Jackson Jr., the defensive player of the year, he's still Depoy, but like no one's talking about Depoy anymore because they're just like, yeah, it's Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah. All right. Dylan Brooks, 16 a night. He's also been playing great. Xavier Tillman doing a great job in cleanup duty for Steven Adams. Nothing against Santi Alama. Just Xavier Tillman's a little thicker, and I think they like Xavier Tillman against the big boys. And Santi, like as much as I love him, I really do thought Santi Alama is going to be a guy in his third season who's really going to break out, or whichever season that they start to phase out or move on from.
Like Steven Adams. Like you know what vibe I just caught from that? Kind of almost possibly a Lauri Markkanen type situation.
Yeah, but like different. Like
okay, he's not averaging 20 and 10 in his second year, but yeah,
like,
breakout type of candidate.
I was trying to think of another player who took like 4 years to break out that like just jumped onto the scene. But that's like really good. But I could see Santi being a guy who every season he slowly increases his numbers, and then either his third, fourth season, or even his fifth season when he gets his first season of his new extension, and they like find because this will happen when they move on from Steven Adams, because I assume that they envision their future starting lineup of like Santi Alama, Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and I guess maybe Zaire Williams. I don't
even know if that's.
I know. The whole wing position's a big question mark, but whoever their wing is. But the four guys, Desmond Bane, Ja Morant in the backcourt, front court. Steven Adams gets replaced as Jaren Jackson Jr. as center, and then the power forward Santi Alama.
Yeah, it's just the issue with Triple J is being at center and fouls. But yeah, I get.
Oh, you could play Santi. I just rather have Jaren Jackson Jr. be the center than Santi.
If
Santi can play center, I think Santi though is more suited as a power forward. I know.
It's fun, man. They're fun. I know they struggled a lot in the before the break, but they're a fun team. I really love the villain. We always need them.
Are you
no one's telling Ja to stop eating McDonald's? Fuck off, Carl.
Yeah, that's one thing. No, can we talk about the way that the Grizzlies front office and management, the way that I want to compare Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant. The way Ja Morant is handled by the organization is completely different by how the Timberwolves are holding Edwards to by the organization. Like Anthony Edwards, the organization has has talked with him. They're like, hey, dude, you got to stop eating McDonald's. You got to stop eating junk food. And I'm pretty sure they hired a nutrition for Anthony Edwards. And they told him.
They're right, though.
Yeah, they're right, though. And then whenever Anthony Edwards does something like, the whole gay people thing, or something suspect that they meet up with him and they just have a simple conversation. They're like, hey, you're the face of the franchise. You can't be doing this. You know what I mean? Not telling him don't be who you are, but you have a role and expectation.
You're employed.
You're employed.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good how they do it. They're like, we know you're a kid, like you're gonna make mistakes, you have a life, but like let us show you like how to be a professional, how to like become an adult and stuff. And I think that and maybe that's because the Timberwolves' new owners are Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez, so Alex Rodriguez knows that, and maybe, but it just feels like the Grizzlies are like, as long as we're winning and Jaw's putting up stats, Jaw can do what he wants.
Yeah,
And
you're right. I mean, it's almost like old school basketball. Like Michael Jordan, before they switched to whatever McDonald's cooked with, like he was a sponsor of McDonald's, and I'm pretty sure he would eat McDonald's every day for breakfast.
I'm pretty sure he also didn't lift weights until Phil Jackson became his coach.
It's crazy. But it was a different era with different shit in our food. So that's like my only concern with Ja is sustainability.
The other thing is, I just think it's important to have, role models and, coaches and people in your front office who care about you as a human, like making sure like to teach you. I mean, I'm not saying that, the Grizzlies are a bad organization. This is just from an outsider's perspective. I just think the Timberwolves, for the situations, I know they haven't been as dramatic as Ja Morant's, they've done a good job of, trying to use them as learning experiences for Anthony Edwards. While Ja Morant, it's just like the Grizzlies, you don't ever see them talking about like reprimanding or like scolding Ja Morant for his behavior,
pulling up and pacer players or whatever. It's man, he's got to grow up.
And again, I hate how like NBA media try and like there's conservative media tries to act like NBA players are thugs. No, I'm just talking about like a lot of guys from the NBA come from rough backgrounds, and these guys need to be like nurtured and shown how to be adults. I think
you don't want anything bad happening, and it's not even just from an organization standpoint, like you're saying. It's just these are your boys. These are your family.
You don't want another Delonte West,
Yeah, stay away from LeBron's mom, everybody. She's off limits. Stay away from your teammates' moms.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess Swaggy's not coming on.
Yeah, I was gonna say no long Knicks debate. Although I had a really good joke to tell him when he said the Knicks are finals contenders. But
before we continue, let me show you this dope ass loft I found in Miami.
Miami? Like in Miami or
like Miami?
Where is this?
It says Miami, but it's like North Miami. It's technically on top of a nail salon, but check this out.
Damn, that's a small ass place for $2,000.
Oh yeah, I know. It's the location.
I love 2 floors though.
Check this out.
It's a cool bathroom.
It's a loft, so the bedroom.
Yeah, it looks sick.
The bedroom's up here. Well, this clearly is not the same building that they showed, but like, yeah, up there is the loft, and then you got right here. I just think this is sick. The bedroom.
Yeah.
But either way, let's do a quick little Knicks talk. And the other place I found is this one. This one is Coral Gables. This one's actually closer to the University of Miami.
Well, that's a small fucking kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, unfurnished? That sucks.
Was your place furnished?
It's gotta be though. No. And if Nick didn't live here, I'd have literally nothing. I don't have a fucking bed frame, dude.
Yeah, that's sad. You're a grown ass man with income.
I know, it's very embarrassing. I will never have.
Buy a bed frame for $50.
I have a bed frame in my living room, but I know I'm moving, so it was like, why would I assemble this just to deassemble it? And
I don't know. I can't go against that logic.
Yeah.
You should just move to Boca. Sign a 7-month lease.
The issue with that is, by the time my lease is up, you'd be there for like 3 months.
What do you mean?
Oh, shit. A 7-month lease from now would be till like a 7-month lease. By the time my lease is up, wouldn't even get to the end of the year, and in like early November.
Okay, then sign a year lease or a 2-year lease. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but then what if you bail on Boca? Then I'm fucking stuck
I'm
in
not.
Boca. It's like
I'm
I don't
not
want
bailing.
to.
I just paid
Boca.
I just paid $500 accepting my admission to Miami. I'm moving to Miami.
Yeah, what if something happens? What if you get a nice job offer? Or your
No,
girlfriend's
I'm
like,
not.
fuck that.
No, like
There's a lot
I
of
just
cards at
spent
play here.
$500. Except I'm like right now writing scholarship letters. Like, I'm
Yeah, what
moving.
if
I'm like,
Kansas is like,
no,
you can come here for free. We'll
no.
actually pay you money. to come
I
here.
didn't apply to Kansas.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I'm like fully committed. I'm like going to Miami. Like, they're
All right,
like,
well, I'm still gonna wait till August. So.
what are your thoughts on the New York Knickerbockers?
Brunson with 30. I think they're the best offense since they switched to a 9-man rotation in December. It might have been late November, but they're good. They're very good. And they're red hot, man. They're probably the second hottest team because Milwaukee's won 15 straight. But you got to love it. You got to love the story. Jalen Brunson is a star right now. He's molding. He done been molded. And Julius Randle, all NBA season. Mitchell Robinson, since he's come back from injury, has been massive for him.
His return was so quiet. No one talked about it.
So quiet.
No
I didn't
one-
even know what happened until it
Same.
happened.
I was
like, it's a big deal.
Literally, I turned down the Knicks game the other day and I saw Mitchell Robinson there. I was like, did no one like want to tweet that Mitchell Robinson was coming back? Because I saw him out there. I was like, when did they announce Mitchell Robinson's coming back? Yeah, no, first off, did you see the tweet that Jalen Brunson made Tom Thibodeau smile?
Yeah, Swaggy sent that to me, and
I thought that was cool. So I'm on the boat that Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle might be all NBA players.
Dude, yeah, Brunson's a star.
Like, I'm thinking that right third team all NBA.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's dude, Brunson's almost shooting 50% from the field on 24 points a night, 41% from 3, 6.5 assists, almost 4 rebounds, a steal a night. Like, that's the other thing. Brunson, for all the shit that they give him, oh, he can't play defense, this and that and this and that. Guess what his defensive rating this year? Yeah, I know it's not his last year is actually 111.8, and this year's 116. Like, he's again not an insane defender, but I think his like he really they do a good job of hiding him.
Well, he hustles really hard, and that it makes up for any height or size that he lacks. And this team is one star away from being like, oh, I mean, it already is getting to this.
They're an OG Anunoby. I'm sorry to say this. If
no,
you switch out RJ Barrett for OG Anunoby, does this no?
I'm thinking like a Brandon Ingram. I'm thinking if RJ took that leap to like 25, I know.
Okay. My apologies. So, like, let's say if the Clippers blew it up, Paul George.
Oh my God, yeah, holy, like, fucking.
I would trade RJ Barrett for Paul George.
They're already getting there. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I got to see it in the playoffs. But they've already beat their win total from last year. I believe that was last night, and I don't think they're quite at the finals. Like, I really wanted Swaggy to come on here and say this team is a finals contender. And I was like, well, when you go to Whoville next, can you get me some green eggs and ham? I was like so ready for the joke, but
I just choked on my smoke from that. I didn't expect you to say that, but I just choked on the smoke.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't expect you to say Whoville. Green eggs and ham in Whoville. That was good. Dude, my teacher called me a sexist yesterday in class.
Told you you're sexist?
Yeah, I go like
this. Does that apply? But damn.
Yeah, so we're in class and we're pitching our story ideas for like a class project. And they're talking about like one girl wanted to do like cheerleading and like how cheerleaders are forced to dress provocatively, etc. And that. And then my teacher goes, "Does WNBA have cheerleaders?" And nobody could answer. And I go, "You know what'd be funny?" I was like, if they had Chippendales as cheerleaders, and like half the class laughs and the other half class go. And like that, and then he goes, "That's a sexist remark." And I was like, "How is that I was like, "How is that sexist?" Okay, first off, that's not sexist. You guys were talking about how females are forced to dress provocatively to be cheerleaders for men. So you guys asked, do the WNBA have cheerleaders? You guys didn't know. So I said it would be funny if they had Chippendales as cheerleaders. Why? Because the irony would be they have men dressed provocatively cheering for women. That's not sexist. That's just it's distasteful. If anything, it's a distasteful joke that shouldn't have been said in a classroom.
It's not even distasteful. It's just society is crumbling and everyone's got their panties in a bunch. I made a perfect 9/11 joke on Instagram yesterday. I was like, it was way too soon. It's like, what?
But that's what I'm saying. Is like the thing is like if anything, that joke is dark black satirical comedy. It's
what comedy is.
Yeah, it's dark humor. It's like dark humor. You know what I mean? It's morbid humor.
Yeah, this world sucks, and I don't know too much about Kansas, but I would imagine it's very much like Loyola.
It's a libtard.
Like, that's not gonna work. That joke doesn't work here.
Yeah, that joke. Like half the people found it funny because they were just like, "Damn, he just really said that." You know what I mean? It's like a joke, but like the other, and then like I feel like I got really pissed off because I was like, "That's not sexism." Like sexism would have been like, "Oh, they should have Chippendales as cheerleaders because girls love cock." That's sexist, right? That's sexist.
I don't even like sexism. I don't get it because it's like you want to be treated as equal, but like I can call you a fag, so I don't know if that flies on YouTube. But like,
I just talked to multiple people. Like I talked to my friends in law school. Like I talked to.
Carrie's pissed. Or that's not
Carrie's right though.
Yeah.
But that again, that wasn't sexist at all. It was the WNBA. They were saying it was just like, again, if it was sexist, it would have been like it'd be funny if they had Chippendales because they love cock. That would have been sexist. But I said it would be funny if they had Chippendales because the irony would be having provocatively dressed men cheer for women.
Yeah.
That's satire. It's making fun of
sexism would be like they don't have cheerleaders because they're in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Yeah. That's me saying that. I was just taken aback because I was like, "That's not sexism. That's not a sexist comment."
Yeah, no, it carries. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Like
I try out for the Hornets, Chippendales. But okay,
that's Barnes.
Who?
Bang, game winner, Matt Barnes. That's a joke.
I know who this is.
Same. No way. Who the fuck do you think you are?
He's 19 in the Northwest.
It's not 19. He used to be 19.
Oh, he's 21.
How do you know that? He used to be 20.
Because it has to be when they're yellow, it's within 2.
Dude, that would have been good to know the last 9 months we've played this game. But
I've known that.
Wait.
He's a center. He's a center.
Yeah, is it Şengün? I don't think so. No. Is that Usman Garuba? No, he's 20. Is that Usman Garuba? Oh, I really thought I did something there. Why did I just guess the Houston fucking Rockets when we're talking Northwest? Dude, who are these players? As Reed's not 7. It's not Goofy Gobert. Mr. Baguette.
He's a 21-year-old.
Who else is in that other than Minnesota? Who the fuck? I mean, I know who these players are, but like, there's just no way. Who's the team we're missing? So Portland? Oh, you
got Portland, Minnesota, Denver, Oklahoma City. Memphis is in the South.
Jazz?
Yeah. Oh, you know who this is?
Yo, I would have never thought of that. Wow, he looks like such a geek in that picture. Wow.
All right. You got anything else to say to beautiful people before we get out of here today?
The Bulls almost shit the bed last night, and it's so funny. There's a clip going around. You should see it of Nikola Vucevic being a big old oaf on defense and clearly shit in the bed. And Patrick Beverley's like Go there. And Vucevic is like, oh, no one's ever called me out on my shit. Like, I'm not even, I'll avoid looking anywhere near you. It's like, well, yeah, if you run, and then the tape gets run back, and Stacey King's like, yeah, he's completely right.
Young man. Yeah. Hey, we did good. We had a little under what yesterday did. We had like 8 to 9 guys today. Yesterday we had 10 to 13. Still good. So I need to figure out right here, because Paulo didn't tell me through this whole conversation that he had a computer from 2013.
What does he have? A fucking brick with a touchpad or something? I don't even.
He has a MacBook from 2013.
How does he? I've stalked his Instagram. How the fuck does he edit anything he does?
Are they good
at it? He does shows on his. He does shows. He has a podcast.
I don't know, man. What? Oh, you know what I'm gonna see? He has a MacBook. Maybe you can just do iMovie.
That's what I use. But if we're talking short form, I don't know.
I don't know if you can do it on iMovie.
No, I would imagine not. Because I have no idea.
No idea.
Content.
So all right.
I know it's like Photoshop and editor.
We'll be back tomorrow. Another day, another dollar. All right. I am gonna go ship.
Same.
Cheers.
Yeah.